space instrument that Fry played for Layla?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The devil chops off his own hands and puts them on fries.
Yeah, I can't. It's because it's like some alien
Yeah,
instrument. It's
but
like the
the
hardest
devil.
thing.
Oh
Yeah.
no, but it's Satan bot. That's right. It's not actually the devil. It's
Oh yeah,
the
no, it's
devil.
Satan Bot, because Satan Bot's the only
Yeah.
actual devil in that show.
Yeah, that's right. Forgot it was Satan bot, not
Oh my
the
god,
real devil.
that's so true. Anyway, hey everybody, welcome to the next episode of the Stone Goblet or Gauntlet. We are once again doing lightsabers for the last time. Uh, Today Spider Dude has stepped out because he lost Groku. So we have my friend Delron Hubbard over here to replace him. As you know me, I am your host, Crook Irish, and I am joined today by Max.
Hello. I think there's some internet issues at our house right now. So if we disappear, it's because of the big ass storm that's happening outside.
Well, or your guitar. I mean,
Or
it's my
Frank.
haunted guitar.
Yeah, or it's your haunted guitar and just friggin'
Yeah.
took both of you out.
Or we
You
got
talking
too
shit
close
about
to
it,
the
so.
truth, and the government took us out. Is what happened
Yes, this is exactly that.
with their weather control anyway. And I'm joined today by Delron Hubbard.
Hello, everybody. Delron Hubbard. No, I do not have a cult or a religion. But if you want to send me money anyways, be fantastic.
Do you have a lot of technologies that you can use to better your life?
No. Because honestly, all the technology I have probably makes my life worse.
That's true.
Do you have fake? Do you have fake technology that you can convince us would make our lives better?
We'll give you money
Well,
for it.
you know, I did pick up a Geiger counter, a few weeks back, and I've been tinkering with that to kind of read the energy levels of people.
I bet it's
But,
just off the fucking scales around you.
Oh, man, that's real nice of you to say. I am a walking goddamn earthquake.
He's broadcasting from 3 Mile Island right now.
Moving on. Today we're going to be discussing lightsaber fighting forms. I'm going to be throwing it out there this way. I'm going to name the form, turn it over to Alex to talk about the master of the form, and then I will go through what the form is and try to give you examples of where we saw them in the films, which is the last thing we'll talk about. So starting off, we got Form 1, that is Shi Cho. And turning it over to Alex, who are the masters of that, bud?
So what we got for a master for that one is Kit Fisto. If I can picture him correctly, green guy with some tentacles. Don't know the species names. You will find out very quickly that I am secretly more interested in Star Trek, but that's okay. We're not here to talk about Star Trek.
I just said that. Okay, we'll talk about that later.
But yeah, Kit Fisto. I don't, Kirby or Max, either of you. Do you know what species he is?
Kit Fisto, I actually don't know his species off the top of my head, but
Nautilin. He's a Nautilin.
Nautilin male, yeah. Nautilin.
He has a green lightsaber. He's a pretty cool dude. I actually like playing Kit Fisto when I'm like playing Lego Star
him
Wars
and Jules
shit.
Verne,
Yeah,
him and Jules Verne.
Big fish eyes.
So with Form 1, Shicho is the oldest and most rudimentary lightsaber form. It is direct and simplistic. It's still effective and used during the Jedi downfall. Its origins are murky, but people kind of surmise that it most likely came about because of a combination of several early lightsaber techniques, which were actually a combination of early sword techniques used to kill or maim. And when the Jedi realized that teaching this philosophy could potentially inspire Jedi to maim people, they created a philosophy around Shicho that goes, the defeat of a foe without inflicting serious injury as the highest form of victory. That is the foundation of Shicho, and some would argue the foundation of the Jedi Order.
With a weapon that easily cuts off limbs and cauterizes the wound.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
Huh. Interesting.
It is a favorite amongst Padawan because it's easy to learn. Some Jedi synthesized it with other techniques to balance the flaws. It's used by Jedi on the front lines of the Clone Wars, which is probably why Kit Fisto is so specialized in it. Because
Yeah, he's way out. He's way out in front, isn't he?
yeah, and it is very effective against the droids. Each strike, after each strike, the users would move back to a defensive stance. They used strikes and parries extensively. So it was more like an offense, but every single strike would be in a defense stance.
Okay. Like like Aikido?
Kind of. Okay, so this is a part where we're gonna discuss where was it used in the films. I personally think Shicho first appeared in 5 when Luke fought Vader. Because
Oh
you
yeah.
remember when he struck him, he would move right back to a defensive stance. Like immediately.
Yeah. And he was just learning.
Oh
Like
yeah.
it's Form 1.
Well,
So
then let's face it, Luke, the
yeah.
scared little bitch for 3/4 of those first films. So I mean,
Yeah. really
Yeah.
was.
Luke really does kind of fucking suck. For
You
like,
take all of
he
those
really
into
he
one.
really didn't get his confidence up until
The
episode 6.
end.
So
you
The
know,
very end of it too.
my friend's a huge Empire fan, and I was like, why? And then I rewatched the films, and I'm like, oh yeah, I get it now. Because pretty much everybody but Solo, uh,
Doesn't know what they're doing.
yeah, they don't know what they're doing. And like the Empire, they had that shit on lockdown, minus the racism, I guess. So, so maybe the Empire's not the way to go. We're moving on to
I don't
Form
know.
2.
One way to look at it is they had the racism on lockdown. I mean, all their troops are white. I mean,
They're dressed in white at least.
Oh my god.
Might as well be wearing white hoods
4
or cones
episode
even.
there you go.
Yeah.
We're fucking
Next thing they need to be
canceled.
doing is burning some crosses.
Yeah.
Look, I am not siding with the KKK here, guys. And
Well, neither are we.
Form 2.
Yeah.
Form 2 is Makashi. That is pronounced Mukashi. Alex, who are the masters of that?
All right, this one we got a little bit more on. We got Count Dooku, which that'll make much more sense once we get into it for anybody that's played, Battlefront games and watched the movies. Grievous, which I guess makes sense, but he's got so many limbs that how can he not be good at dueling? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Crook Irish, I don't know, Darth Malik. I understand that you're doing the movies. But
Darth Malik
yeah.
is actually from the video games, Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then okay, so Shakti's in the movies, but I think she's one of those like secondary characters that you just kind of see in the background. I don't think she actually talks or anything like that.
Yeah,
and then this one I don't know how to pronounce.
Okay,
Asajj Ventress, which he's in Clone Wars.
Yeah, actually, you nailed it. Asajj Ventress.
Yeah, of course I nailed it. Because I'm a fiend.
That's because she was taught by fucking Dooku. But go on.
There's dirty pictures of Shakti online. I'm just saying.
And Kit Fisto and Asajj and anyway. And Luminara.
Like the first thing that came up.
It's like Rule 30. Oh, did you type in Shakti and it just presented porn?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Oh, that's glorious.
Representations of it.
it's like so far from Disney. It's just porn now. All right. So anyway,
people shitting on each other.
a lot of
I'll
stuff
give you
from.
a shock to today. All right, so
Slinging poop.
Stuff from like Deviant Art or something. I don't know.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm sorry to digress a little bit, but those are the 5 that I have.
Gotcha.
okay, so Form 2, Mukashi. It is a very graceful style. The representation of the person fighting is just as important as the strokes. Because you want to put about an air of superiority as if you're controlling the fight.
Oh, that makes sense.
You will see it notably in Count Dooku's fights. Because he does those like sweeping, fucking elegant like attacks and blocks. That is the Makashi. It stemmed because of the rise of the Sith in the galaxy. Um, because when the Sith came about, the Shicho was purely focused on melee, but it wasn't focused on melee other lightsabers. So most of the Shicho battles, when the Sith rose, actually came to an abrupt halt rather quickly, with many casualties. Thus, Makashi was invented. It is purely a fucking dueling art. Meant to take on another lightsaber foe one-on-one. It is focused on retreating and advancing, disarming and avoiding being disarmed. Jedi began to experiment with two blades around this time, but found the precise movements of Makashi and Shicho too clumsy to execute with two lightsabers, so they developed the Shoto blade. That is a smaller blade. It is the one that Ahsoka Tano carries, and that's Form 2.
All right, and I just want to add something real quick for anybody that's new to Star Wars, may have not known this. Just FYI, Jedi or samurai. So that's the Shoto blade.
The Shoto blade, yeah.
It's just probably a well-known fact by now, but I figured I'd just throw that in there.
Yeah.
So where do you guys think you saw him in the films?
Well, it's definitely you see it in Dooku, and I don't know about Grievous because I think his
that's the one. Yeah, go ahead, Max.
I mean, he's got 4 arms and he just goes.
That's kind of where I was at too when I first saw that. Dooku's very clear, right? I mean, his battle with Obi-Wan and Anakin and then Yoda. I'll admit I haven't watched any of the Clone Wars animated stuff, so I don't know about Ventress. But Grievous, yeah, man, he's a brain in a vat that just kind of just constantly twirls his lightsaber.
Does he really use a form? I mean, he's got an incredibly effective form, but
yeah, it's so with Grievous is like a master of many different forms of like.
Yeah.
So it just looks like
shit.
this.
Yeah. So he's always just moving all sorts of shit in and out. Like he's not gonna make it look like Dooku does, and Dooku does it really well because he was actually born into royalty. So he learned Makashi from like an early age.
And he's got that really bougie handle thing too, where it's like curved.
My God, yeah.
Yeah.
I've never understood that.
I think it's maybe it's for concealment. I don't know.
No, we covered it last episode.
We did, didn't we? That's right.
It's because of his royalty. He's got a very rare curved blade to signify his prominence.
It is bougie, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely
is bougie. Just like people with curved penises, those bastards.
So Form 3, that is Sor Iso. And who are the masters of that, Alex?
So I will say, if we're going to stick to the movies for the most part, Obi-Wan is definitely by far above the rest, like the master of, what is it, Soriso?
Yeah.
The other two, Kirby or Max, you guys can jump in because I don't know who these people are. You got Darth Zana, who I believe are in the books, Legends. So I don't know if you want to touch on that or not.
Yeah, I think that's not
and
that's
then
not canon.
and then Luminara Undell, who I also don't know. That might be Legends as well. I'm not entirely sure.
So,
Yeah.
But I will. Go ahead.
Luminara Undul is a Jedi member. Darzana could be Legends. I've never heard that name.
I don't know. Wikipedia says she's canon. There's no fucking pictures though.
But I think the biggest takeaway for Form 3 above all else is Obi-Wan. Because the dude
Yeah.
embodies Form 3.
Oh yeah.
This thing is called the Way of the Minok or Resilience Form. It is heavily focused on defense rather than attack. It's developed directly in response to blasters. Now, I want to point this out, guys. If you notice 1, 2, and 3, all of them grew as response to threats in the galaxy. You know,
Yeah,
like the
right.
first one was melee clubs, so Shicho got invented. Lightsabers got invented, so Mukashi came into play. Blasters got invented, so Isu got developed. You know, the 1, 2, and 3 are the basics for all forms going forward.
Yeah.
If you notice it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, they just build off of the first three.
Yeah, they just build off the first 3 either in combination or like with a depth into one of them. You know.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, go on.
No, Form 3 is a defensive, like says focuses on defense rather than attack, which would make sense against blasters.
So thank you, Goatsmore. Zana was Bane's apprentice in Legends. Good to know.
Mm.
And so that is Goatsmore. Let's give him a shout out.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. That is Goatsmore, guys. Go check him out on Twitch. GOATSMORE. Let's see. Shout out. Okay.
The Minok. Remind me what a Minok is.
A Minok is one of the flying things. You actually saw them in Empire Strikes Back.
They stick to the Falcon. That's right.
Oh, it's like in the asteroid that's not an asteroid.
Yeah.
Oh, what's up, GT? Oh, well, welcome to the stream. That's the I'll tell you about it later, Max. But yeah, welcome to the stream, bro. Yeah. So basically, this is tight controlled movements and strict actions. Its key is defense. And the stance is dedicated to allowing as little openings as possible. So basically, this guy is trained to block and parry lightsabers and blaster bolts, withstand numerous opponents, and above all, maintain a calm composure in response to any threat. Calm and tranquility is integral to this style. So every battle is intellectual and thought out, and the whole thing is just pure defense. So basically, these guys, if they're masters of the style, can withstand numerous upon numerous opponents because they would just scale to meet them with the blocks.
And we can see that in Obi-Wan in the first 3. Actually, he takes on like a lot of people.
Yeah,
at
dude.
Once.
He just like he's straight like just beast people and like with this form, since it's defense related, it doesn't take a lot of fucking force to use. It's small movements to control your fatigue. So the whole point is to outlast the other opponent until they get tired enough that you can swing at them.
He totally did that with Grievous too.
Yep. And I mean Anakin in the third one, without a doubt. I mean he's on the defensive that entire duel up until the infamous high ground.
Well, I mean he actually used Form 8, which was high ground form. And that you gotta be you gotta be 2 feet.
You
gotta be next level. You gotta be next level to do that.
You gotta be next level.
Come on.
Obi,
That's why in episode 4 he just gave it to Vader. At that point,
Yeah.
he was
He
like,
really
"Look,
did.
man, this is my gift to you."
You know what happened? It was after he flipped over Darth Maul and won, and like sliced him in half. Obi-Wan thought to himself, he's just like, you know what? The high ground's my bitch now, and and then he became the master of the high ground. I get it. I
You put it
understand it.
together.
I
Well, I
put
mean,
it together.
he not only did he train Anakin, he watched him fight, so he knew exactly how to fucking chop off
Yeah.
all his limbs and leave him for dead in
Yeah.
a lava flow.
Yeah, well, it's life lessons. Sometimes you gotta,
Life
show
lessons.
tough love.
Especially after your Padawan murders a bunch of children.
Yeah, it's like, come on, guys.
Dude, all right. Not to get too off topic. Just real quick, I want to make this comment. Padme in those movies, right? That he literally goes to her and is like, "Hey, I did a terrible thing. I killed these children," and she's just like, "Oh, that's really bad, but let's have babies together." Like,
Well,
I mean, there's no
doesn't-
warning there.
He tells her when she's giving birth to twins. I mean, what is she gonna do?
No, this is beforehand.
Does he
This is
tell her
like right
before?
after he does it. But that's maybe another podcast. Maybe.
Oh my God, no, oh my God. There's a great fan theory behind this. Can I tell it?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
sure.
go for it. Yeah.
Okay. And this is one of them that I fucking subscribe to, is that Padme wasn't in love with Anakin. Anakin put her under the spell of the Force.
Ooh.
Ooh, that actually is pretty good.
Because
Yeah.
he wasn't in love with Padme. He was obsessed with Padme. So
Yeah.
like to a point that he wanted her as an object to like COVID. So he could easily be like mind trick her into thinking that she's in love with him.
Oh yeah.
I guess I
Yeah,
never
'cause he-
really thought about that.
Yeah, he did meet her when he was like a child, and she was not.
Yeah. She was like, "Get the fuck out of here, kid."
She was like
Yeah,
a
well-
full-on diplomat.
Oh,
Yeah,
like
I mean that's actually pretty good. I mean that makes sense. He would be able to do that. I
Yeah.
mean,
After like the second meeting, like yeah, he's all forced up and whatnot.
I mean that just makes it even more sad.
prior
it
to
does.
his like fucking destructive like, oh, and her dying was him losing his grip on her.
That makes total sense. Because they don't
Interesting. Yeah.
The other
they don't
option
explain
is,
that at all.
but the other one is that you remember how Palpatine. Dude, we could talk about Star Wars theories all day, but I'll leave it at this. You remember how Palpatine was talking about like resurrection throughout that entire film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the fan theories is Padme's dying was him stealing her life force and giving it to Anakin.
Oh, that's another good one too.
That's
I should look
interesting,
into
too.
this. I don't have time
Yeah.
for this. I can't be looking into all these theories. My God, I'll lose myself.
I like that first one more because it also explains how like with very very futuristic medical apparatuses and techniques, she dies giving birth to twins at like full term.
Well,
which
she
is
died
kinda
of a
like-
broken heart. I mean, come on.
Died
of a broken heart.
Well, that makes sense.
a broken heart that was given to her by the Force.
All right, so we're gonna get into some of the more fun forms.
Okay.
We got Form 4. That is Ataru. You want
This
to
is my
talk about?
favorite.
You want to talk about the masters of this form, Alex?
Yeah. So I'll just mention the three here that are definitely in the films. Yoda, Ki Adi Mundi, which I think he's also like another background character. I think you get a glimpse of him in like one of the background scenes, but you never actually.
He's on the Jedi Council.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, and then Qui-Gon Jinn, who you definitely get.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but he doesn't
like,
actually speak, does he?
He doesn't have any speaking roles, but he's on the he's like the guy on the Jedi Council with the really tall head.
Yeah.
He's like the
wearing,
cone
mask.
head.
Oh
Yeah.
no, that's Plo Koon, the guy with the mask.
Oh, okay.
The cone head
Yeah.
is Kayati Mandu.
Yeah.
Oh man, Conehead.
So
Yeah, he doesn't really talk.
this is a really fun style. First of all, it's an acrobatic combat style, best suited for open spaces and attacking. It is aggressive, focuses on offense, speed, and agility. It is the first one to incorporate the force in its movements, as some of the movements were impossible to pull off without it. Other forms had incorporated the force in bits and pieces, but this is the first one to basically kind of like direct it to it. If I could name this anything, it is basically the Krav Maga of lightsaber combat. It is get in, get the job done, and finish it as fast as possible without killing. Well, unlike Krav Maga, it's without killing anybody else.
Well,
Defense,
you only kill people in Krav Maga if they've got like a weapon that is deadly,
yeah.
and then you take it from them and kill them with it.
So it employs leaps and somersaults to attack the enemy from multiple directions. It gave the rise of Form 4 Taro Taro
Taru,
Ataro that
Taru.
the rise of Form 4 actually gave rise to the galaxy spanning legends of the Jedi. Because when
Mhm.
people started to see them fight with Form 4, they began to become scared of them. Um, it's like basically it's the onslaught. It is the quickest way to achieve victory out of any of the
Yeah,
forms.
that makes
And
sense.
so where was it used in the films? I know my answer. It is very, very obvious. But go on,
Well,
guys.
So I actually have a quick question before we get into that,
Yeah.
which might lead us to the more obvious one. Do either of you, can you point to a good, because when I saw Qui-Gon Jinn, and I understand you only see him duel once in the film with Darth Maul
yeah,
for the most
that's
part,
right.
but I was kind of surprised by that one because there really is, like, I tried to think back on, like, the duel with Darth Maul, and he doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't seem like he's embodying or
Actually,
using this form.
but now that I think about it, it's been a little while. No, it hasn't been that long since I've seen them. I watched them with my kids recently. They insisted on watching them in order, which was like really, really hard. Uh, in that scene, him and Obi-Wan, you can actually see kind of a difference between their styles. Like Obi-Wan definitely does take a defensive stance, and Qui-Gon goes in for the kill, maybe to his
Okay.
detriment.
Well, I mean, on top of that, it's like just because they're a master in that style doesn't mean they use it. You know,
They're using it. Yeah, that is
That makes
true.
sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
That is true.
form
You
form
probably want to use the best one for the time. Yeah.
Form 4 requires so much fucking energy that unless you end the fight immediately, you basically you're gonna fuck yourself midterm, especially against someone like Darth Maul, who has mastered both fucking Form 6 and 7. and
Yeah.
so I think at that point Qui-Gon, who's a very incredibly wise Jedi, saw the fight ahead and was like, I'm gonna use a form that better suits working with my Padawan.
He does also he does a lot of he does some acrobatics in that scene for sure. Like he jumps across like a pretty and does a little flip like a pretty far void. And like I said, I think like if I remember correctly, and I watched him recently, Obi-Wan is conserving his energy like way more than Qui-Gon. And maybe that again, maybe that's why Qui-Gon got killed.
You know,
Yeah.
Mm.
GT pointed out it's like before the Mandalorian, people thought Ataru was the cause of Yoda's long life. We now know that
Oh,
this is false since it shows that their race is long living.
yeah.
So that brings us to our most obvious example of Ataru in the films, and that is the Count Dooku fight versus Yoda.
What
Yeah,
about
or
the
Darth Sidious. I mean,
yeah,
either of those are good examples. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
it's just the way he fights.
And he's using with the Darth Sidious duel, he's using the force to like bring down those senatorial like floater things. So he's jumping around like acrobatics, and he's bringing down those like he's using the force to bring objects on Sidious, and he definitely gets tired out like very quickly.
Oh yeah. I
Like
mean, you
he
see
get
him down there at the bottom, and
yeah, he's just spent.
that's the thing. It's like the Jedi are at a disadvantage in fights, and that is why like Sidious thinks he can fight without a lightsaber, because his hatred he could draw on that internally.
Yeah.
What a jerk!
You know, like an asshole that he
What
is.
an asshat.
What a dick, man.
But let's face it. I mean, ultimately, who wins, right?
Yeah, I mean, but he is the grand wizard of Star Wars, and if we're going for the clan references,
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
what do they call them? Grand dragons, grand wizards? I don't know. Whatever
Grand
David Duke
Wizards. I
was,
think you had it
grand
right.
wizards.
I think it's Grand
Yeah,
Wizards.
No, I'm pretty
yeah.
Yeah,
sure. Pretty
David
sure.
Duke was one. Yeah,
David Duke. Yeah.
yeah.
Pretty sure they changed their name to Grand Douchebags. I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, uh,
Maybe that's just the
do they
name I gave them.
do
I
they
don't know.
spell it with a K? I don't know.
Yeah, that was it. Douchebags with a K, like back.
Yeah.
Okay, so form 5, Chien de Gem So. Alex, what you got for me, bud?
All
This
right,
is
we
interesting.
got Luke Skywalker. We got Papa Skywalker, Anakin / Darth Vader. I think if we're gonna stick with canon, Plo Koon, he's canon, right?
Yeah, Plo Koon's canon. That's actually the
And
droid with the
then
mask. Welcome back,
yeah,
JJ Blue.
okay.
Yeah.
And then the other two I won't bring up just because I'm pretty sure that neither of them are canon.
Yeah, Bane is Legends for sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
So,
after talking about the clan, I don't know about the name Plo Koon. Just saying.
oh my God. Anyway, Form 5. Form 5, there's two different variants of it. It is developed by practitioners of Form 3 as a way of adding offense to the form. If you guys remember, Form 3
Oh
was
yeah,
the defense form. Uh,
yeah.
the first variant, called Chien, uses an unconventional reverse grip, and
Ooh.
it's actually the variant that created redirecting the blaster back. Instead of like just bouncing the bolts off, they're the ones that started going, "Hey, what if we take the
Oh yeah, they're
bolts and send it back?"
like a more controlled sort of. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
and
makes
With
sense.
when
Babe
they
Ruth swing.
Yeah.
when they created that, it became so famous that it actually bled into every other form.
Hmm.
The gem so, and if you guys want to see Chien in action, Asuka Tano uses it. She uses the unconventional reverse grip, which she
Yeah.
believes gives her better use of actually redirecting bolts. Although it's
She,
unconventional because people in the temple are divided on it.
and she uses Shoto too.
Yeah, and she uses the Shoto.
Yeah.
Now, just to be clear, when you say the unconventional reverse grip, you mean basically if you were holding the lightsaber, the blade would be
Like,
going down towards the
yeah.
ground, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And she holds her Shoto blade like that.
Yeah.
Um, the Gem So is the second variant that focuses on defending with blocks and parries, and then immediately countering with strong counterattacks and ripostes. It was developed as a way of adding offensive melee techniques. Usually, practitioners of Form 5 incorporated both of them, as they sought to control the momentum of battle. So
Mhm.
basically, they must be ready to go from defensive to offensive in mere seconds using this form, and they move very little in combat when using it.
So the Shoto blade in this one is probably pretty useful,
Yeah,
just in general.
I think.
Yeah. Especially to put opponents like off key, right? I mean,
Yeah.
because it's something that's you're dealing with the main blade, but then you have something on the side to really kind of, I guess,
Like
like
blocks,
yeah,
blasters. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that.
I think she uses like a combination of Form 5 and Form 2.
Yeah,
Because
that makes
Form
sense.
2 is when they introduced the Shoto blade, and she uses Form 5 as like a way of defense and offense. Um, but yeah, let's see. So
Nice.
let's what's that? Oh, where was it used in the films? You would mostly see that in Which one was it?
Well, I don't know, but I would say that anytime you see a Jedi like flip his lightsaber around and block a blaster and send it right back to a droid or someone else, like that's probably a good example.
I would, what would be
Yeah.
a good one would probably be the opening scene at Jabba's with Luke in
Oh yeah,
episode 6.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
a good point.
At
Because
least for redirecting the blaster fires.
yeah. Actually, yeah,
That's
and
true.
actually, if you're in tight quarters like he was, taking that reverse grip is probably you got more control over it too. And again, since we're talking about a weapon that can very easily cut off limbs, you want to have some control over it.
Actually, I mean, Alex kind of put it out at the beginning, and GT brought it back. Anakin. Anakin always used fucking
Yeah,
Bishamsto. Like,
yeah, he did.
he was a master of it in both the Clone Wars and as Vader. That was his,
Yeah,
like, preferred style.
yeah.
Yeah,
And he's
I mean, now that you say that, you could probably. It makes sense, right? I mean, he can't move. I mean, especially as Vader, can't move a lot. Like
yeah,
he's very he's not going around doing flips. He's not doing any of that crap.
he doesn't take his cape off either, so he doesn't want to cut that.
Yeah.
That's so true. It's like, not
Just saying.
again.
Although, yeah, I was about to say, unbeknownst to us, he just has like a freaking closet full of capes because he just keeps cutting through them.
So, for
Expensive capes.
Form 6 and 7, I'm actually gonna turn it over to Max.
All right. Okay, so Form 6 is the Niman. Alex, do you want to say who's the masters in that?
Yeah, I mean, again, sticking with canon, I mean, the most apparent one is Darth Maul, just like Crook said before. No Storell, I'm pretty sure he's canon. I'm almost positive that you see him in a non-speaking part in one of the prequels,
Yeah,
if
I
I'm
think you're
remembering
right.
correctly.
But
But
Sin
those would,
Darling, I don't know who that is.
I'm not sure. Revan is from fucking Knights of the Old Republic.
yeah,
But
Knights of the Old Republic.
honestly, I think the biggest one here to focus on would be Darth Maul.
Is Darth
Because
Maul.
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
whole
I would
thing's
agree.
like just Darth Maul, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, combines double-bladed combat with force abilities, just like Maul. It's considered by most Jedi to be a natural progression of combat and favored by many in the temple. It's a synthesis of the previous forms, I guess, but bringing in that double-bladed lightsaber. Represents balance and harmony. The Jedi who created it sought to master a style that could achieve victory without dominance, defend themselves, and deliver swift justice without the temptation of power. It's less damaging physically, which doesn't Maul kill Qui-Gon with just like a? Am I forgetting that?
Oh, it's
Yeah,
less. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just
I mean, he basically slices him in half, you know?
Well, no, he slices Maul in half, but when he kills Qui-Gon,
It's like right
Maul
through the chest.
yeah, he just goes. Whoop. It's like a straight. So like,
Oh, shit.
yeah, so it's like less
Hold on.
damaging physically. He didn't cut off limbs or anything.
Hold on, guys. We have been
We're being
fact
corrected.
checked. Yeah, we have.
Oh shit, man.
GT, you should be on every one of our streams. Nyman is a dual blade form, not double bladed.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So wait, would that be like later Ahsoka Tano?
I don't. Maybe. I don't know.
Who else was in here?
Actually, okay. Well, so the last two forms kind of like bleed into each other.
Yeah, it would be later Ahsoka Tano, like Mandalorian era.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
and don't forget, it focuses on delivering the Force powers over the blade.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally lost my train of thought. Okay. Yeah, less damaging physically, carefully balanced but favored defense. Um, required mastery of the force and the will to use it effectively. Um, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I guess Maul like did do a pretty good job of like of 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 using the force. 'Cause really, the only time in the film that we're gonna see that is Darth Maul.
Yeah, but
Um,
this like his bleeds into 7. Like Darth
yeah, his
Maul
does
was
bleed. Yeah,
he's
but
he's he's more there. Like so I think with Form 6 where we saw it in the films, because all right, with Form 6 it was considered by many Jedi to be the natural progression of combat. Like
yeah,
they
yeah,
thought it was the peak, like the end.
yeah. Well, that's what I was reading about mostly.
And some Jedi considered it lazy because instead of focusing on like learning the art styles, like some of the heavier forms that were
Yeah,
previous, um, they would just supplement it with force powers and call it a day.
it's less demanding on the like less physically demanding because
Yeah,
you're using force powers over blade work.
you
So
saw
yeah,
its popularity rise in the waning of the Jedi Order.
yeah. When they got lazy,
Yeah,
and
Just
complacent.
like every civilization.
Yeah, just like the clan. Wait.
oh my God.
um.
But
Uh.
yeah, as GT pointed out, it combines the first 5 together. It is like
Okay.
the penultimate one.
Okay. It looks like so. Yeah. The if I'm just going by like sort of internet mentions, its appearances were in episode 1, so Darth Maul, right? And then Forces of Destiny, Asuka and Padme, but it's mentioned only. That sounds like Legends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, it's a cartoon.
No,
Um,
I anyway. Well, let's
yeah,
just
and
move on to Form
we'll
7.
move on to 7. Yeah, Form 7 is it's two things actually. So it's Juyo and Vapid, Vapad, Vapad.
iPad?
With the VAPD, Vapad.
Vapid?
Vapid. Who used it, Alex?
Uh, so I'm going to bring up two specific ones just to show kind of the dichotomy of, who could use it. But Darth Sidious, a big
Yeah.
one. And then Mace Windu,
Oh, my
right?
favorite.
And he's a special case. Darth Maul, just as Crook said before, kind of combined the two. And I'm pretty sure I think sort of bulk is Legends.
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
So
But those
it's
would be the three big ones canon.
yeah, that's right. So yeah, so I got a quick question for you guys. So, do we think that Maul changed up his style after he got cut in half?
Well, okay, so I don't know this for a fact. It's something that I read, take it with a grain of salt. But one of the things that I read about that Form 6, the Neiman,
Yeah.
was that Sidious actually purposely trained Maul in that form to be used because the Jedi had such a maybe reverence for it, like because of the
Yeah.
balance, harmony, diplomat thing, that he
Yeah.
actually kind of wanted to use it psychologically against them.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
You know,
Yeah, so
So
it's kind of yeah.
if I had to guess, I think like before he got cut in half, Maul was a Nimin. Just like he could be
Yeah.
evil, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's not balanced and harmonious with who he is.
Yeah. And
yeah,
then he moved into Juyo
Yeah, when he
like
got cut in half,
specifically.
he became consumed with killing Sidious and
Yeah.
Obi-Wan, which put him very
Yeah.
much in the ferocity form.
Yeah. And I would be pissed off if I lost like my junk and stuff and my legs.
Maul
Or, you know,
Maul used Neiman when he has the dark blade and another blade in the last season of Clone Wars. I need to
I-
finish that.
Yo, I need to
it's
watch Clone Wars. Everyone says
pretty-
it's good.
it's pretty
I've
great.
never watched it.
And
Yeah.
actually, Bad Batch is really good too. I really enjoy Bad Batch.
Clone Wars
Anyway,
is the best thing about the prequels. Fuck the prequels. Watch the Clone Wars.
Clone Wars is great. Yeah. So there's two. Like I said, there's two distinct sort of like variants of this. There's Joyu, which is like purely dark side. It's banned in the Jedi Temple. Likely came from techniques rejected from Shi Cho for being too dangerous and aggressive. Again, I hate to keep pointing this out, but these weapons are really fucking dangerous to the user. You know, you could just like you slip up and you cut your leg off, or you cut your cape apart. You know, it requires immense draw from the dark side to achieve its power, anger, hate, etc. Many Jedi fell to the darkness because they tried to use this particular variant of the form Juyo. The Jedi Temple only allowed its teachings to occur so they could be effectively battled, so they could effectively battle the Sith. So that makes sense. So you know they probably have teachers who knew some of it and threw it at the young Padawans and whatnot.
Yeah, like okay, when I started learning about Juyo, it kind of interested me how much fucking like the Jedi Order started to become like the CIA. You know, where it's like, okay, I know these tactics work over here. I know they're banned, but what if we teach a few Jedi a few of these tactics and let them loose? You know?
Well,
They
the
definitely
one thing-
got some fucking dirt underneath their fingernails, is all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is canon. But doesn't the Jedi Order wasn't the Jedi Council built on top of a I'm pretty sure it's built on like a Sith temple on Coruscant.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one.
I'm pretty sure that's canon.
I'd have to look that up, but yeah, I
mean, I guess it depends on what you mean by canon because it's just never mentioned in the movies whatsoever. But I'm pretty sure it is. But
there's some retconning going on here.
Yeah, I have a little love-hate relationship with Disney. Sorry, Disney, but you really bungled those new movies. But yeah, it's neither here nor there.
Hey, you know what?
No. Solo was good. Go see Solo.
Oh, so was Rogue One. But you know what? The three canon, like the three main ones, you know what? On their own, they're each an okay movie. But as a trilogy, they're awful.
I think just in general,
I will say this.
Okay, fine.
I think the second one standalone is pretty good. The first one, the second one, I will agree. The first one, it's good, but it's just kind of like a remix.
Well,
The
problem with it is like each one is so like it doesn't pull on the former one. So like
that's their big issue.
Yeah, they all tried to tell three different stories. I'll tell you the best part about that entire trilogy was the second one when the kid brought the broom to him.
Yeah. I was actually talking to someone who's like a really big nerd recently, and he mentioned that scene like also, and like I was like, oh, Kirby talks about that too. Like at the end, like that's what was supposed to happen, and they actually wrote a script based on that, and they didn't use it.
Yeah, because because anybody could be a Jedi doesn't sell as much as Skywalker and Palpatines can be Jedi.
Yeah. But what I was going to say is we're jumping because Mace Windu's going to get his own little version here. Yeah. But I was just thinking as we were talking about this, I'm surprised that we should have mentioned Kylo Ren, right? I mean, without a doubt, when they filmed or when they have those duels with Rey, I mean, it is all power moves for him.
It is
in every it's just like the overhead swing, like it's the very kind of medieval.
And he's pissed the whole time.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I actually thought Kylo Ren was a master at Form 9.
What's Form 9?
Bitch form.
Bitch form.
And so,
The
what's
form
the
where
rest?
you can invade someone's space with your mind.
Yeah. All right, so let's wrap this up.
Okay.
Vapad.
Okay. Vapad. Okay, this is my favorite. Mace Windu created it. And I'm gonna say that I think a lot of Mace Windu has one like really sad battle scene in the movies, but in the Clone Wars, there's more of them. So Mace Windu created Vapad. He used it to control his inner darkness and channel it to good. It uses anger and aggression to fuel it, but never fully gives in to the dark side like Juyoga does. And it's a very thin line. You have to be. It's called controlled fury, rapid strikes and powerful blows. So we don't see a lot of this in the films because it's a quick. It's kind of, that Mace Windu's death scene was disappointing. It does it establishes Anakin as like a douche. But
Well, I mean,
like
I'm pretty sure killing a Jedi temple full of kids
is
establishes
douchey.
Anakin
Well,
as kind
yeah.
of a douche.
Yeah, dude,
Like-
he kills kids on multiple occasions.
Yeah,
Man,
that's
he's
like his
just-
second
I'm
kid
s-
killing.
Oh yeah,
Let's
he kills a whole village. That's right. Oh man.
Yeah.
He should get paid for that. I mean,
God
Hey
he
man,
does
Form
later.
10, just baby killer.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
GOP would love him right now.
Yes.
Form 10.
You think he's got a hidden kitchen in his house where he cooks babies?
I don't know, man, but that's what we got to do. We got to start doing like marketing, like mock political campaigns for Anakin.
Oh my god. He'd probably be fucking elected too.
Dude,
Like, you know what? Fucking Vader would be a good person to run this country.
We'll just say that he's got Q clearance just for fun.
Oh my god.
Okay, so that I want to sort of like I'm gonna dig into Mace Windu's like other appearances because he sounds like a really interesting character. And we've talked about his lightsaber being a purple lightsaber, and that it has this sort of dark meaning behind it, and not just because Sam Jackson demanded a purple lightsaber.
I was gonna make that joke, but
You know what? At some point we might just deep dive like members of the Jedi Council. Not anytime soon, guys, because we're getting
we could
away
do
from
that. I want to do a deep dive in Mace Windu because I want to know his origins and I want to know him creating his own form and I want to know about him building his own purple lightsaber.
Yeah, we could definitely do that.
Yeah.
Bet you anything it had something to do with those motherfucking snakes.
Yeah.
On those motherfucking
Definitely.
planes.
He was probably
On those
trying to get those
motherfucking planes.
Yeah. You know what? If you were gonna have a fighting style to get rid of like a bunch of snakes on a plane, this is the one.
All right, so guys, we're gonna go ahead and do some shameless shout outs. If you like today's episode, that is a podcast known as the Stone Gauntlet. You can find it there at the Stone Gauntlet. Don't forget, we also have another podcast all about music. That's the Upside Down Brain. Sora Bulk created that form with Mace. Oh, that's right. Sora Bulk is Mace's apprentice.
Oh.
He's the
okay.
only other person
Okay.
there that could wield it, I believe.
Okay. Well, that's kind of cool.
Sort of
Oh.
both kind of looks like a giant cockroach.
Yeah. Okay. So in the comic books, it looks like a badass, but live action, it's
Yeah,
really
that's what I'm
disappointing.
looking at is the live
It's
action picture.
Really, really disappointing. But the comic book, he looks like a fucking banshee.
I'm gonna have to look at
Oh
this.
yeah, he does.
Hey, so my brain is hanging upside down. Just launched an episode on what was that? Friday.
We did no effects. It just dropped Friday. It was me, Josh, and our new co-host Taylor, who will be joining us in the future. And next week we're doing a band called No Use for a Name, which I kind of sprung on everybody at the end of that episode. But we'll get to Green Day someday. But yeah, next week we're doing No Use for a Name. In particular, we're going to talk about Tony Sly, who was the lead singer and guitarist and a rhythm guitarist, and he died in 2011 from an overdose.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy. We're gonna shout out our production assistants. That is OGT Nasty. That is right here. This is OGT NASTY.
Just like it sounds.
Just like it sounds. And Artrix. These guys are both streamers. Please go check them out.
Mm-hmm.
And the next episode of the Stone Gauntlet, guys, we are going to veer off of Star Wars. We are done. I'm done with Star Wars for a bit. We'll come back at another time, but we are going to go way, way, way to the east. And then down. And that's right, guys. We're going to talk about one of my favorite lost cities, Libertalia, the pirate city of gold.
Wait, so you going down on pirates?
Yep.
We're going. Look,
I bet it doesn't smell good down there.
It's gonna be fun, guys. Open your mouths because we're gonna come at you
Had a lot of
hard and
crabs.
fast. What?
I bet.
No, you're not. You're not gonna catch crabs by listening to the
Okay.
pirate episode. Don't listen to
Hey, you
Del Ron
might.
Hubbard. I mean, depending on what you're doing while you're listening to this podcast, you may or may not catch crabs.
Well, okay,
But-
so
It has no connection to listening to the show itself.
Yeah, our show
Okay.
does not give people crabs.
Well, and apparently pirates were, you could go gay on a pirate ship, but you couldn't do any of what they called buggering, which was butt stuff. But you could blow another guy, maybe give him a handy. That was allowed on a pirate
Is that
ship.
right?
Yep.
I mean,
We had an old Navy
throughout
saying.
human history, we've just never liked butt stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you don't have any lube. You don't, butt stuff takes preparation.
Hey, man, human beings have natural lube called spit.
Oh, gross.
That's how we do it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up.
Do you think Blackbeard braided his pubes?
God damn it, I'm Crook Irish,
So I hope so.
telling you to go out there and make it a little bit weird. Go ahead, Max,
Stay obsessed, everybody.
and a special guest, Del Ron Hubbard.
He
Go form
doesn't have a cult.
We go form a cult.
Yeah, go form your own cult. Your cult of one.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll catch you all next time.
All right,
2 weeks
later,
from
everybody.
now.